Hello friends, today I will discuss the numerical problems on the furnaces. So here the problem is a three-phase arc furnace has to melt 10 tons of steel in 2 hours. Determine the average input power in kilowatts to the furnace if its overall efficiency is 50%. If the input current is 9000 amperes with above input power in kilowatts and the resistance and reactance of furnace are 0.003 ohms and 0.005 ohms respectively. Determine the arc voltage and the total kVA taken from the supply. Assume the latent heat of steel as 0.12. Latent heat of fusion of steel is 8.89 kilocalories per kg. Melting point of the steel is 1371 degrees centigrade. So to solve this problem, we have to follow the following steps. The first step is first calculate the what is the total heat required to melt the steel. That is capital H is equal to H1 plus H2. So next step is find the total heat in kilowatt hours using the relation 860 kilocalories is nothing but equal to 1 kilowatt hour. Next, find the what is the total output in kilowatts. So next step is find the input power using the formula of efficiency. That is input power is equal to output divided by efficiency. Then find the in-phase component, that is Vx of the supply, from the equation 3Vi cos phi is equal to input power. So next step is that V cos phi, which is also equal to Vx, we can write as voltage drop across the arc plus the voltage drop across the resistance of the furnace, that is I into Rf. So from this we can calculate what is the voltage across the arc, that is V arc is equal to V cos phi minus, so V arc is nothing but V cos phi minus I into Rf. So then the perpendicular component or J component of the supply is given by Vy, that is equal to the furnace current into the furnace reactance Xf, that is I into Xf. So once we know the Vx and the Vy, we can calculate what is the supply voltage, that is V is equal to Vx plus j Vy. So that is nothing but root of Vx square plus Vy square. So after that, calculate what is the input kVA of the furnace, that is 3 into supply voltage into the current flowing in the furnace. So first we calculate what is the total heat required for the substance to melt, that is H1 plus H2. This H1 we can write as Ms into T2 minus T1. Then H2 we write as M into LF. So from this, substitute the value, that is for M 10 tons is given. So first of all you have to convert that 10 tons into kilograms. So that 10 into 10,000 will give you the mass in kgs. So into specific heat, that is 0.12, into the final temperature is 1371 and the initial temperature is 20 degrees centigrade. So plus, again here m in kilograms, that is 10 into 10 cube, into LF or LV, that is given as 8.89. So when we simplify all this, we get 1910.8 kilocalories. So we know the relation 860 kilocalories is nothing but 1 kilowatt hour. So first convert this heat into kilowatt hours. So that is 1910 divided by 1910 into 10 cube divided by 860. So then you will get 198.48 kilowatt hours. So once we know this kilowatt hours, then we can calculate what is the power taken by the furnace. And it is given that, so the time taken for the furnace to melt the substance is 2 hours. So divide this total heat required in kilowatt hours with this 2 hours. So then we get the power taken by the furnace in kilowatts, that is 994.344 kilowatts. So then once we know this, so we can calculate what is the input power from the efficiency formula. So we know the output divided by efficiency. Efficiency is given as 50%, so we write 0.5. So 0.9942 into 10 cube divided by 0.5 will give us 1988 kilowatts as the input to the furnace. So once we know this, we can calculate total power output So here these steps which are not clear, so I am showing here like this. Total output power is nothing but 1988.3 divided by 2, that will give you 994.15 kilowatts. So from this, so we can calculate what is the input power, that is output divided by efficiency. So 994.15 kilowatts divided by 0.5, so will give us 1988.3 kilowatts. So once we know this, so from the steps that we have mentioned, so we can calculate what is called the V cos phi using the formula called 3VI cos phi is nothing but this. So from this we can say V cos phi is equal to input power divided by 3 into I. And the furnace current is already mentioned as 9000 amperes. So we can calculate V cos phi is equal to 988.3 into 10 cube divided by 3 into 9000. So then it gives the V cos phi value as 73.64 volts. So this is nothing but X component or real component of the input voltage. So then now we can calculate what is the arc voltage like this. V arc is nothing but V cos phi minus the voltage drop across the furnace resistance. So 75.64 minus I is nothing but 9000. So the furnace resistance is given as 0.003. So when we simplify it, we get 46.64 volts. So then we know the furnace reactance, that is 0.005. So from that we can calculate what is the J component of the supply voltage, that is given by Vy, that is nothing but I into Xf. So I is given as 9000 amperes. So into 0.005, so we get 45 volts. So we know the Vx value, we know the Vy value, so we can calculate what is the actual supply voltage, that is V is nothing but Vx plus jVy, so that can be written as under root Vx square plus Vy square. So Vx is already calculated, so that is 45, so 45 square. So Vy also known, so 73.64 whole square. So from this two, so here these values are interchanged here, so it's not correct. So Vx is 73.64 square and Vy is 45 volts. So ultimately it is correct. So that is, we get the supply voltage is equal to 86.3 volts. So once we know the supply voltage and we know the current flowing in the furnace, so then we can calculate what is the input kVA, that is nothing but 3 into V into I. So we know 3 into V is nothing but 86.3 volts. So into I is nothing but 9000 amperes. So divide that with the 1000, then we get as 2330.1 kVA for this furnace. So that supply voltage and the relation between Vx and Vy can be shown like this in the form of diagram like this. And this is the power factor angle. And Vx is nothing but V cos phi and Vy is nothing but I into Rf or V sin phi. So let me take another problem on the furnaces, that is a low frequency induction furnace has secondary voltage 10 volts, takes the 400 kilowatts at zero point 0.6 power factor when earth is full. If resistance of secondary circuit varies inversely as the height of the charge and reactance to remain constant, find the height of the charge in the earth corresponding to the maximum heat. So here the following steps are followed. Step 1 is find the furnace current I using the formula P is equal to V into I into cos phi. Step 2 is find the what is the secondary impedance, that is Z, using the formula Z is equal to V divided by I. So then step 3 is find what is R, that is Z cos phi, and X is Z sin phi. So that comes from the impedance triangle like this, R X Z. Next step 4 is, in second case, let h be the height of the charge when the earth is full. Then let us say h, small h is the height of the charge corresponding to the maximum heat. So then the ratio between the capital H and small h is written as like this. Small x is equal to small h divided by capital H. So here when the charge is kept at the beginning, the height of the charge will be more, but when it melts, so its height reduces. So this h is always less than this capital H. So let us say let Rm be the resistance of the charge at maximum heat of the charge. So then we can write in terms of capital R, that is the resistance of the charge when the earth is full, divided by some x. So that is R, capital R is inversely proportional to 1 by height. That is already given. So when the heat is maximum, secondary resistance, that is Rm value, is equal to the X. So it is given in the statement that the reactance of the furnace remains the same. So we are writing here corresponding to the maximum heat also Rm is equal to X. So we know what is Rm. Rm is defined as R by X. So R by X is equal to capital X. So from this we can write small x is equal to capital R by capital X. So then step 5. So height of the charge at maximum heat is nothing but small h is equal to x into h. So next we calculate capital I is equal to P divided by V cos phi. P is nothing but 400 kilowatts. That is free. The furnace takes 400 kilowatts. So that is what we are writing here. Divided by 10 into 0.6. This 0.6 is power factor of the furnace. So supply voltage is 10 volts. So from this we can calculate what is the current flowing in the furnace. That is 6.667 into 10 cube amperes. So we know the supply voltage and we know the furnace current. So we can calculate what is the furnace equivalent circuit impedance. That is Z is equal to V divided by I. That is 10 divided by 6.67 kiloamperes. So we get 1.5 into 10 power minus 4 ohms as the impedance of the furnace. So we know from the impedance diagram we can write cos phi is equal to R by Z, sin phi as X by Z. So then from this we can write R is equal to Z cos phi and power factor is given. Z we have calculated. So multiply that Z with the power factor. So we get R value as 0.9 into 10 power minus 4 ohms. So next capital X is nothing but Z sin phi 1.5 into 10 power minus 4, and because cos phi is given as 0.6 we can say sin phi is nothing but 0.8. So once we simplify it we get 1.2 into 10 power minus 4 ohms. So if you look at this for a equivalent circuit of the furnace, the reactance is more than the resistance. So then we know what is the charge resistance corresponding to the maximum heat received. That is capital R divided by X. Capital R just now we calculated. So 0.9 into 10 power minus 4 divided by X ohms. So we know what is Rm, that is nothing but capital X. So capital X is nothing but just now we calculated 1.2 into 10 power minus 4 ohms. So we use this formula, this value to get X value. So in place of Rm we write this 0.9 into 10 power minus 4 divided by X is equal to X value is nothing but 1.2 into 10 power minus 4 we write here. So once we simplify this we get the X is equal to 3 by 4. What is this X? This X is nothing but small h divided by capital H. So we can write the height of the charge to get the maximum heat as small x is equal to Ex into h. So this x is nothing but 3 by 4 into h, means the charge receive the maximum heat when its height is 3/4 of the initial height. So that is h is equal to 3 by 4 capital H. Next. So here we take another problem. The resistance elements of each phase of a three-phase delta connected resistors woven consists of two groups of elements connected in parallel. If the temperature of the elements is 1125 degrees centigrade with normal supply voltage, with same supply voltage, what are the other temperatures possible by reconnecting these elements? So before discuss this problem, so first of all we have to consider Stefan's heat dissipation formula. So from that we can say the power loss is directly proportional to voltage square, and heat dissipation is H is directly proportional to temperature to the whole power of 4. This temperature is in degree Kelvin. So when the two groups are connected in delta and in parallel across the supply like this is one group, this is another group of resistors, and these two are connected in parallel to the supply like this. So in that case, the per phase voltage and line to line voltage are one and the same. So let us say the power loss corresponding to V square voltage is P. So then we can write power loss P is equal to K into T power 4. So from this we can say K into the temperature that is attained with this combination is given as 1125. So plus 273 whole power 4. So that is we get K into 1408 to the power of 4. This let us say equation 1. Next, coming to the second step. So he is asking what are the other possibilities to get different temperatures. So let us say the two groups are connected first in series and then connected in delta like this. This is one group resistance, this is another group resistance. Similarly here, and they are connected in series like this, here also in series, here also in series, and that whole thing is in the delta form, and that is connected to the three-phase supply like this. So now if you look at this, the voltage for this branch is capital V, but the voltage across each group, that is say here, this resistor will get the voltage drop of V by 2. So that is voltage across each group is V by 2. So as we know, power loss is directly proportional to V square. So here also we write V by 2 whole square. So V by 2 whole square means V square by 4 we get. Corresponding to V square we say P, and we have the 4 in the denominator. So we write power loss with respect to delta connection as capital P divided by 4 is equal to K into T1 whole power 4. So this is unknown temperature. So this we have to calculate. So to get this T14, so we say this is equation 2. Then divide the equation 1 with the equation 2 like this. Then we get that PP going to get cancelled. We get 4 here is equal to 1408, that is this, divided by T1 whole power 4. So once we simplify this, we get T1 is equal to 995.6 degree Kelvin. So if you subtract from this 273, then we get in degree centigrade, that is 722 degrees centigrade. So if you look at this, earlier the voltage across each group is V, whereas voltage across each group is V by 2. So once the voltage across each group is less, automatically the power loss will be less. So then automatically the temperature is also less. So that is why if you look at this and this, here it is 1125 degrees, whereas here we are getting 722 degrees centigrade. So next, let us see another combination possibility. So the other combination is, suppose these groups are connected in series first and then they are connected in star like this. This is one group resistance, this is another group resistance connected in series, here also in series, here also in series. But ultimately it is in the star form like this. And this star form connection is given to the three-phase supply. So if you look at this, for a star connected system, per phase voltage is nothing but V by root 3. So here if you look at this, the voltage from here to here, it will be V by root 3. But whereas the voltage across each group is given by V by root 3 by 2. That is like this. So then heat generated is directly proportional to V by 2 root 3 whole square. That is, we get V square by 12. So we know what is V square. V square is directly proportional to P. So we write P and the denominator comes as it is. That is P by 12 is equal to K into T1 to the power of 4. Say let us say this is equation 3. So now let us divide the equation 1 with the equation 3. Then we get 12 is equal to 1408 divided by T1 whole power 4. So from this, if we simplify it, we get the T1 as 483.5 degrees centigrade. So here, if you look at this properly, the voltage that is getting per phase for each group is less than the previous value here. That is V by 2 root 3. Earlier it was V by 2. So once the voltage drop across element of group reduces, automatically the power also reduces. Once the power loss reduces, automatically the temperature also reduces. Earlier it was 722 degrees centigrade, whereas now here it is 483.5 degrees centigrade. So let us say another possibility. Suppose all these three groups are connected first in parallel, then in star, like this. This is one group resistance, this is another group resistance connected in parallel. Here also in parallel, here also in parallel. But ultimately they are connected in star form, like this. So if you look at this, for the star, the voltage drop per phase is given by V by root 3. So the voltage drop across this, the voltage drop across this will be same. That is V by root 3 whole square. So if you simplify it, we get V square by 3. We already know that V square is directly proportional to P. So that denominator will remain same. That is P by 3 is equal to KT1 to the power of 4. Let us say this is equation 4. So we want to know what is this temperature. So again, divide this equation 1 with the equation 4, then we get P divided by P by 3. So then if you simplify this, we get 3. K into 1408 to the power of 4 divided by KT1 to the power of 4. 3 is equal to 1408 divided by T1 power 4 whole power 4. So from this we can get what is T1. that is 1408 divided by 1.316. So from this we get 796.8 degree centigrade. So here if we look at this properly, the voltage across this is better than previous case. So we have the more power loss, so we get the higher temperature.